And do you want to know how he rolls?
A couple months ago, my friend Poppy completely butchered the Star Wars prequels.
We missed Jar Jar
We should have
Binks.
gone to Jar Jar Binks. Ha ha. And now, much to my dismay, she is back again to do it for the rest of the series. Han Solo kind of dies.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
I hope you guys enjoy because I know I did not.
We have A New Hope. In A New Hope, we meet Luke Skywalker. Actually, no, we start with Leia, like a ship in a battle, and they're like, get the plans for the Death Star to the rebels. C-3PO and R2-D2 are like the main characters, and they're like, okay, we're carrying the plans of the Death Star. And then Leia gets captured, and she goes, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. And everyone's like, who the f*** is Obi-Wan Kenobi? But obviously, you know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. And then Luke buys... I've got a time constraint.
Also, a little context for you guys. Before we recorded the originals, I had somewhere else to be. So I gave Poppy a whopping 20 minutes to get through all 3 movies.
Luke gets C-3PO and R2, and then he sees the help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. He goes to find Ben Kenobi, and he goes, do you know someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi? And he goes, of course, he's me. Little stealing that from me. And he gives him a lightsaber, and Luke like puts the lightsaber in his eye. Go on a little journey to go to Alderaan, and they meet Han Solo and Chewbacca. This is Chewbacca. Han Solo takes him to the Millennium Falcon. Leia is being interrogated by the Empire, says something about its foul stench, and you're like a legend. And then her planet is destroyed, and she's really upset and sad. Han and Luke dress as stormtroopers and come and save Leia. It's a moon. That's no moon. It's the Death Star. They come and save Leia. Then Leia goes, you've got to take me to the Rebel Alliance. Han's like, oh, I'm out of here, mate. Give me the money. I'm gone. At some point, he's the son of Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan explains that Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker, yeah? And they're like, we've got to destroy the Death Star. And Luke's like, I can fly. And when they're on the Death Star, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets killed. When Luke's flying, he goes, Luke, use the Force. And he uses it. He uses the Force to help him navigate the Death Star. And then he destroys the Death Star. Yeah. What's a good colour for The Empire Strikes Back? The Empire Strikes Back, they're on Hoth, on little horse things, and then Luke goes, I'm gonna go check this thing out, and Han goes, I'm going back, it's cold. Then he gets attacked by something, and he's stuck in a cage, and Han's like, well, where the f*** is Luke? He's got to go get Luke. Because he's got frostbite, he puts him in the body of his dead animal. And they go back to the base, and then the Empire's found them. They're like, oh shit, we've got to go. Luke's like, R2, we're taking a different course. I'm going to go find this dude named Yoda. He goes to Dagobah, and then he has this whole training thing with Yoda, where he thinks he becomes Darth Vader, and it's really weird. His X-Wing gets stuck in the lake and he can't lift it out. With Han and Leia, they're arguing. And R2's like, I hate Dagobah, it's horrendous here. They go find someone called Lando, and Lando's like, welcome to the Sky City or whatever. And then they go for a lovely dinner, and just Darth Vader appears. They're being held captive, and then Luke senses this with the Force and goes, Yoda, I got dip, man. So Yoda's like, no, you will not become a fully trained Jedi, you're too arrogant like your father or something. Anyway, he goes and sort of tries to save them. Han gets stuck in Carbonite, and then Luke appears, and Luke fights Darth Vader. Everyone else escapes, and then at some point he gets his hand cut off, and he's hanging off the edge. He goes, you killed my father! And he goes, Luke, I am your father. And then as Darth Vader approaches, he just lets go and lets himself fall into the abyss. He calls out for Leia, and she can sense him. I wonder how she can sense him. They take him to a hospital. It's fine. Oh, there's a bit where Leia kisses him at the start of this movie.
There is, isn't there?
That's the end of the movie, basically. Then we get to Return of the Jedi. Dun dun dun. We meet Jabba the Hutt again at Tatooine. They go to rescue Han. There's like so many plots. They send R2 in, they send C-3PO in, and Leia's like basically got Han, and then they appear from behind a curtain. They start there laughing at her, and then they take her. And then Luke appears, and there's this big battle. They fight, they get Han out. Han's blind. They get Leia, Lando helps. All is good. Luke goes back to Dagobah to find Yoda, and Yoda's dying. Oh! Yoda goes, you have a sister, and Luke's like, what the f-? And then he figures out that it's Leia. And then they somehow meet up again, and they find out that they're building another Death Star. Meet Death Star 2 over here. They go to Endor, which is where like the Death Star base is, and they meet the Ewoks. And they think Leia's been kidnapped by the Ewoks, but she hasn't. They go to rescue her, and they kidnap Luke and Han and hang them upside down. But they think that C-3PO is a god. So then they get free. They have a little party. Luke goes, I've got to go face my father. He goes, Leia, you're my sister. And Leia's like, like, I guess somehow I've always known. Somehow you've always known it. You snogged him at the start of the last movie. Luke goes into the Death Star. While on the Death Star, Luke, like, deliberately become captive, yeah? He takes him to the Emperor, and the Emperor's like, strike me down in anger and you will complete your training. And Luke's like, no. Palpatine basically kills Luke. Anakin picks up this motherfucker and drops him down a massive rat chute abyss thing. And so the Emperor's dead. Let's not think about the sequels. He is dead. Anakin's on the floor dying like, you brought me back to the good son. And he takes his helmet off and goes, I want to see my son with my own eyes. The Death Star blows up again and they all have a little party. And then
How lovely.
he burns his father. I think we should end the little section of the last good Star Wars movies with Anakin Skywalker.
I liked episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7 had so much potential. And then,
Like,
just invalidated everything.
why is there a ginger man on my screen right now?
Oh my god, it's Bill Weasley. I've come prepared. We're just starting. We meet Poe Dameron, this man. He has this little BB-8 unit. They're trying to get the map for somewhere. And then stormtroopers come down and try to attack them. And we're all thinking, what the f***? We thought the Empire was gone. And we see this man, who at this point is a stormtrooper, and he has like blood smeared on his face. Then we meet this man, Kylo Ren. He like interrogates him and he's like, you suck, man. And BB-8 has run away with the plans. Anyway, we meet this lass, Rey, and she's got no money. She's a scavenger. And BB-8 crashes, and she's like, wow, you're my best friend now. These two meet up after Kylo Ren's interrogated Poe, and he's like, I'm gonna name you Finn. Finn crash lands on Jakku, which is where Rey and BB-8 are. And BB-8 is like, why the f*** are you wearing Poe's jacket, you little shit? And then he's like, oh, I'm with the Resistance. And then they're running away because BB-8's being chased because they want him for parts. They go find a ship. And so then they get in this ship. They find the Millennium Falcon. Wow.
No way.
They crash land somewhere or something and they hide out. And then this man arrives with Chewie and he's like, this is our ship. They like team up to do something. They need to get the plans back to the Resistance. And they go to find this little measly old lady. And Rey finds Anakin's lightsaber. They're like, oh my god, Luke's missing. We need to find Luke. And R2-D2 is like, he's shut down. They find their way back to the Resistance base where we see Leia.
Oh my god.
And then we find out Kylo Ren is actually their son. Whoa, he's Ben Solo.
No way.
But before this, Rey was captured by him. These two have a little fight with Kylo Ren, and everyone thinks that Finn's going to be the next Jedi, you know? But actually it's Rey. And then they send Rey off to find Luke.
I mean,
that's what happens.
Han Solo kind of dies.
Oh yeah, that does happen, you're right. So he's like, help me to bring me to the good side. And Han's like, oh, of course I will. And then he just gets fucking bodied.
The Last Jedi should have been the last movie, because episode 9 was shocking.
We start the movie with, I don't know, a true
Rey is trying to get Luke to train her, and then he doesn't want to or something.
Usually I do like a scene-by-scene reenactment.
Yeah, but I mean, when it's with movies that are this forgettable, I can see how that would be an issue.
It starts with them attacking a fleet, and then this woman sacrifices herself and blows her ship blows up. Finn wakes up from a coma.
Finn tries to like run away or something, I feel like.
Yeah, he does. That's when it's with Rose. Because it's Rose's sister that sacrifices herself, I think. Anyway, Luke trains Rey. She keeps getting visions of Kylo Ren shirtless.
I mean, who doesn't?
Leia's depressed. They get exploded and Leia goes into a coma and she like uses the force to get herself back to the ship. Luke's like, I sense darkness in you. And Rey's like, oh, go away, mate. She can sense that her friends are in danger, so she uses skedaddles to get them. Her and Kylo Ren have some cool fight scene with Snoke.
Oh, we're just skipping straight to that.
What happens in the middle?
Probably not much, but I just feel like we went from the start to the end.
So they fight Snoke and he's like, kill your true enemy. And then Kylo Ren uses Anakin's lightsaber to cut him in half. And it's so cool.
I think the sequels are actually like beautiful, but they just suck.
Rey runs away because Kylo's like, join me to the dark side. And she's like, no, I watched you kill your father. Finn and Rose, she works for the First Order and is like, oh, you're a traitor, you escaped. And then they get in a fight with Plasma, Silver Stormtrooper, with Brienne of Tarth. They kill her, I think. She dies. Rey goes back to Leia. They're trapped in the old Hoth base. Luke appears and he's like, I'm gonna fight you, nephew. And they get in a fight. Turns out he's not actually there. And then Rey lifts the rocks to help the Resistance out and they all get on the Millennium Falcon. And they zoom him away. And then Luke disappears. Before that, Yoda appears and tells them to burn all the sacred Jedi texts because thought it'd be funny.
Yoda comes back for 5 seconds, abolish religion, it'll be funny. And then dips.
That's the plot, I think. This looks rightfully messy. R2 is kind of depressed again in this movie, but I love him. He's my small little child. I'd carry him in my womb.
Oh my gosh.
This is the stupidest shit that I've ever seen.
We start with Rey, and she's training, and Leia's her Force Master. She goes through the old Jedi text, and the best line in cinematic history is uttered from Poe Dameron. He goes, somehow, Palpatine's returned. And there were gasps of shock, because how the has Palpatine returned?
Literally, the explanation that it gives is like, the dark side of the Force gives you like unnatural. Shut up.
He falls down that shaft, and do you want to know how he rolls? Is this what happened? He get on his little bicycle and...
Maybe.
Kylo Ren is now being manipulated by Palpatine. So he tries to get Rey to join him in the dark side so that they can both beat Palpatine. He's like, Rey, you're his granddaughter. And Rey's like, what are you talking about? One of Palpatine's clones, the woman, and had you, and they left you on Jakku to keep you safe. They go to a sand desert to look for parts of a map to get to the Death Star. They find Lando. They meet Zuri, who posed and she directs them in the right place. Rey goes to the Death Star, finds the Wayfinder. Kylo Ren crushes it and says, well, your only way to Palpatine is through me now. They fight. At this point, Leia's feeling really sick. Leia dies. Rey uses this opportunity where Kylo Ren is feeling this grief to fucking stab him. And then she goes, actually, I'll heal you. And then she goes to find Palpatine. All these ships come through and help her, yeah? He's like, your friends are dying. Then Ben Solo arrives with a fucking blaster pistol and he just demolishes all these random people. Rey does some little force thing where I think she gives Manning his lightsaber. She's on the ground and then all the previous Jedi speak to her. She gets her other lightsaber and she clashes them together and fights back the lightning. So Palpatine's lightning kills him. I'm a bit angry.
Yeah, like, it just feels like Disney's just capitalizing off of nostalgia.
Rey defeats him and then she goes back and hugs all her mates. That's the end of this shit show.
Way, about time.